So Joy Reid, too radical for MSNBC, now agreeing with other radical liberal women who live in the U.S. and say that women are more oppressed in the U.S. than they are in Iran.
Our regime has secret police. They have secret police. Our regime is oppressing women, taking away abortion rights, taking away women's rights in like 26 states, some states where they're trying to have the death penalty for having an abortion. They also oppress women. They have the highest rate of women who are in STEM careers. We're kicking women out of the military, out of university. We're saying that DEI means women can't be hired for high positions in the sciences. So we're marginally better. And we're doing it for Christianity, they're doing it for Islam.
I agree. There are so many women in flourishing STEM careers in Iran. I don't know why people don't talk about this. Literally, there are so many wonderful female scientists coming out of Iran. Think about how stupid that sounds. In a country where women have to cover their faces and their bodies, they can't vote, they can't drink, they can't drive. You can't even get a divorce in Iran if you are a female. Your husband has to initiate it. What is she talking about?
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, Joy Reid is getting absolutely excoriated online for her brain dead take on Iran, saying that Iranian women only have it slightly worse than American women. This is the type of nonsense that I like to talk about on this channel, like to expose. These are the types of people that you're going to news for. I mean, well, not anymore, because this dummy couldn't keep her job on MSNBC, and they were so woke and so ridiculous and such misinformation that even NBC fired the entire network and turned it into MS Now. They sold it off, right? So even NBC didn't want it. They said this is beneath our standard, and this was that was after Joy Reid was fired from the network. And by the way, her stupid hair with the little dumb blonde, you just need to shave it off. Just go bald. Like, the blonde looks stupid. But guys, I want to go ahead and react to a couple clips of people just roasting the crap out of this loser and exposing the truth about Iran and the difference between that place and America. By the way, guys, there's a new feature on YouTube where you can hype videos. So be sure to like the video, hype the video. It helps out a lot. Appreciate you.
I am convinced that Joy Reid and reality have never met. Let's look up the facts, shall we? In Iran, hijab is legally enforced. In the United States, no law controlling what women wear. In Iran, a husband can legally block his wife from working or traveling. The US, no permission needed to work or leave. US, there's equal access to divorce. In Iran, the father has legal guardianship, not mother. In the US, both parents are equal under the law. In Iran, if the father dies, guardian control goes to the paternal grandfather, not even the own mother. In the US, custody typically stays with the surviving parent. In Iran, women can lose custody if they remarry, but in the US, remarriage doesn't remove parental rights. Joy Reid, you should go to Iran or even interview an Iranian woman, and they will tell you without a shadow of a doubt that Iran's laws systemically give men authority over women's bodies, work, environment, and children. And the US laws are built on legal equality. Iran and the US are not the same. They don't even come close.
Islam, right?
Just marginally better than the regime that is cracking down on its own people. The Wall Street Journal points out armed men ride around on motorcycles, brandishing their weapons to intimidate people. At least 500 people have been arrested since the start of the war, facing accusations that include sharing information with international media or with enemy forces with the purpose of helping them identify a target.
Okay, how about this? How about you move to Iran and see how long you survive there, okay? The fact that you think that American women are oppressed when compared to Iranian women really shows that you are completely delusional. Oh, how dare we have to actually have merits to get a job? How dare we not be able to kill babies in the womb? These aren't your rights. That's all that there is to it. And no amount of pretending is going to change that fact. But what you will notice is that none of these women are going to move to Iran because they know deep down that America is the best country that they can think of.
Those soccer players, those women soccer players can't even seek asylum because their government is saying, we're going to harm your family if you don't come back home. So they're headed back to Iran right now as we speak. They're probably already over there just because they went sing the Iranian national anthem during a soccer game because they disagree with the regime. And there's consequences over there. There's no freedom of speech. You can't criticize their leadership. You can't criticize their country. You can't criticize Islam, their religion. And what does Joy Reid does? All of that. And she made a hell of a good living off criticizing this country, criticizing the leadership, criticizing The religion.
This woman literally was making millions of dollars. Crazy work, considering the lack of talent overall that this loser has. Let's keep going.
She's worth $4 million off criticizing this government and country. Maybe if she compared Iranian women to Congolese women, which she really is, she's a Congolese woman, then maybe she have an argument. But as far as comparing them to American women, yeah, it's not even close.
To say, quote, we're marginally better, unquote, on women's rights, as Joy Reid just did. Women in the United States can have their own credit cards now. We have Title IX for women's sports. Do we have problems? Sure. Do I wildly disagree with Joy Reid's characterization of abortion? Yes. But overall, to chalk up these differences to, quote, marginal ones, that is a slap in the face to the women who came before Joy Reid and actually solved repeatedly real problems for women, put a lot on the line to do it, worked very hard, blood, sweat, and tears into that battle. And then Joy Reid comes around in 2026 and says, we are marginally better.
Literally nothing she said is true. Iran's secret police drags people to prison if they publicly criticize the government or denounce Islam. They have shut down the internet for weeks at a time on multiple occasions to prevent the world from knowing what the government is doing to their own citizens.
They literally had just did that recently, by the way, but let's keep going.
Here, she's criticizing our government in a public interview, and nothing is going to happen to her because we have a constitution that protects her freedom of speech and freedom to believe whatever she wants. Yes, there are some states in the US that have restricted abortion access, but there are currently no states where having an abortion carries the death penalty. In Iran, not only is getting an abortion illegal, but they also ban birth control, vasectomies, and tube tying. Plus, domestic violence and marital assaults aren't crimes there, and unmarried women oftentimes aren't believed when they're assaulted because the testimony of a man is considered twice as valuable as that of a woman under Sharia law. In addition, women aren't allowed to wear what they want, they're barred from running for certain government positions, and they aren't allowed to travel without permission from a male guardian. Yes, even as adults, women are treated like children who need their husband's permission to do most things. As for the STEM statistic, yes, there are a lot of women who study STEM in school, but only about 13% of the female population is in the workforce because, again, they need their husband's permission to hold a job. A lot of women go into higher education to avoid being forced into marriage at a young age, which is legal in Iran. Parents can marry off their daughters as young as 9 years old. In the US, nearly 60% of women participate in the workforce, and we don't need a man's permission to do so. Here, not only can women run for whatever office that they want, we've had a female vice president, and our current attorney general is a woman. Women are not being pushed out of STEM or any career because we're getting rid of DEI. We're just simply holding women to the same standards as men, which is actually the opposite of oppression. And lastly, while the US is a Christian majority country, Iran is an explicit theocracy, while the US has a First Amendment that separates church from state and allows for freedom of religion. To say that we are only marginally better than the Islamic regime is a hilariously ignorant statement made by someone who obviously has no idea what they're talking about. The US is the freest country for women in the history of the world, and I just hope that she reads a book or at least does a Google search before she tries commenting on international politics again.
Of course she's not going to do that because she already knows everything. So do most people who watch the news. They all think that they know everything, even though they don't spend half the amount of time that I spend. And I'm sure plenty of people spend even more time than I do that are reporting on this information. If they do this full time, I still do this part time, but I actually read and get information from multiple sources, and I try to share that with you guys on this channel. But obviously, even with me doing all that, you don't need to do all that to understand that Iran and a lot of those countries, especially under Sharia law, all you got to do is understand what Sharia law is. You don't even really need to know that much about the country to know that the women are not considered equal in terms of being humans as the man. There's clear ownership. It's dang near the woman is a slave to the man if they're married to him, or if the man has a daughter. you're basically a slave to them. You got to do pretty much what they want, when they want, at all times. And if not, you could be severely punished up to death. That's not something that is even close to America whatsoever. That's just foolish for her to say at all. And it's one of the reasons why this fool dummy got fired from her job at that woke behind network. Because even the wokest of the woke, even the most biggest lunatics in all of the fake news media could not keep up with this lady's level of retardation. But these are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm out. Shout out to my members, patrons, and fellow anomalies: Cyber Noodle, 655, The Great, Bella Scott, Carpentier John, and Pinecone 6. I appreciate you guys every single day.
You are not allowed to drive.
I think this is, this is going to get people's attention because, as I said in the opening tonight, everybody else in the media is just avoiding this topic. Like it's not a real topic. It is a real topic.